Hello everybody, and welcome to Dynamic GT League's Wevo for race 1 from the Red Bull Ring. And joining us on commentary is Ray. How are you, Ray?
I'm doing very well.
Good.
Good to be back.
Absolutely. Now, I think I need to place a report straight away. It would appear that SGP is in a BMW and not in a Mitsubishi Evo. So that's something we're going to have to contend over the course of this championship. And for anyone that is wondering what Wevo stands for, Wet Evo. That is as far as our... what's the word? Ingenuity comes as far as titling a championship. Now, for the grid in this season, we're going to have the grid formed by the championship standings, with this first race being from the last championship. So, current champion Steve F1 on pole position. SGP will start in second place, and he is in an Evo. In third place, we've got Demon R, and showing the Wevo. And who have we got in fourth, Ray?
We got the purple burglar on. That's alright.
Even though you couldn't say it. Carry on.
Fifth, we've got Art Pal. Good season for him. And then, is that Nelly?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, Yorkshire Air Ambulance, Nelly. Yeah, he was flying.
Ah, that he was.
And then we've got the pilot, Jason.
Yeah, just want to quickly say, Jason, are you sure you want to do it? Also, to Jason's fiance, are you sure you want to do it? Right, carry on.
And you go.
Twilight in whatever position that was now, apologies. Rich Blues in 9th place. In 10th place, we have got Gary, and then who is in 11th? Oh, sorry, it's not Gary, it's Sports Direct.
11th, it's just a black car right there.
Oh.
Can we see? Oh,
it's the
stick! That's the stick, yeah. That's it.
Hey, it is. Okay, the drivers in this championship are going to have to start every race in the full wet tyres. 4 lights, 5 lights, and away they go. And it looks like Steve F1 has had a decent start. That's all right, having a cheeky look up the inside and Demon R towards one. I think that's Gary in the background. It's so difficult to see who is who from head on.
Yeah, the rain and the spray, you don't really see the rain much, but it just will look very dark. Yeah. So Damon R managed to hold on to third place, but it looks like he's going for a move for second place. No,
not quite able to. Yeah, holds on to third, as she said. On the pack cam, he's getting very busy behind Nelly. Even I've got a bit of a run here on SGP. Okay, so as we are getting into the first lap of this race, you will notice it is very wet, and that is why it's called Wet Evo. Even are having a look up the inside into turn 3, as we call it. Can't get the move done. So every race of this championship is going to start wet, and the drivers have to start on the wet compound tyres. And then after, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 minutes, the weather will be completely random. And as you can tell right now, it's absolutely soaking wet.
Yeah, and I don't know if the viewers can see there's a wee wet gauge to the left-hand side of the screen and next to the tyres. I don't know if you've got that showing.
Yes, we have, yes. Oh, it's busy in the background behind Jason and behind Arpal as they were getting 3 wide. Yeah, so that wet gauge, tell them about the wet gauge. Oh, sorry, Demon R going for the move, but actually, oh no, it's not. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, so the wet gauge, the higher it up is, the bluer it is, the more rain's on track or wet moisture is on track.
Yep. Okay, that's alright, it's closing in on the back of Demon R, and on the pack cam behind Sonax. Who's Sonax? He's getting very busy. Oh, SGP. Looks like he may be going a little bit defensive. Now, there are so many features about racing in the wet that we're going to have to talk about at different points when we can get a word in. Demon R having a look up the inside. gets the move not done, as SGP's had a fantastic exit, and Sodax has overtaken Jason.
I think that might be Twilight.
I think it might not be.
Then who is it? It's not Rich Blues.
No, it's not.
That's
Okay.
Alcohol.
Oh, that it is. Yep. Oh, Jason and Arpal. Jason's got a little. Oh, Rich Blues is even wider. It is so busy behind Jason. Well, I just dipped a wheel there. Is that SRI trying to attack Demon R? Yes, it is. Round the outside. Oh, Demon R with a wiggle.
Yeah, a wiggle there, but looks like he's holding on. SRI trying for a switchback, but I don't know if it's going to work in these conditions.
I think it is just that Demon R just got a little bit sideways on the exit of the chicane there. Jason coming under pressure from Nelly on the pack cam. Nelly coming under pressure from Formula Gary. Okay, yeah, SRI has got that move done as we head into the final couple of corners. Oh, has he got the move done? Because he's side by side with someone. I think Nelly's just been bumped a little wide.
Yeah, I didn't see what was happening on the pack cam, but it was it 2 by 2 by 2?
I think normally on the pack cam from this view you can kind of see who's who. I thought Gary was going straight on, then someone else did.
Twilight.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Twilight. Yeah, SGP's got a bit of a run on Steve F1. Steve F1 going to stick to the racing line, or is he going to go for the off the racing line? SGP kind of looking interesting. Demon R definitely off the racing line, maybe defending a bit. Gary going defensive. Now, as we are in the full wet conditions, Ray, do you believe that the physics are realistic in terms of SGP is going to have much better grip under braking off the racing line?
Yeah, well, yeah, even though the the physics, what happens to the car when you're on the racing line, still that difference still there.
Yeah, so Demon R there taking a very wide line through that left-hander. I can't tell you though, he has told me it's on purpose, as Nelly having a cheeky look up the inside. Gary and Rich got a little come together. Rich has got wide into the gravel. Gary has a little wobble, but gathers it up. And interestingly, through that left-right chicane, one of the things we will see in these wet conditions is cars getting a little bit skitterish as Nelly trying to go up the side of Gary, but Gary's got Jason there. Go! Oh, it's tricky. Oh, and here comes Hay! Oh, dear.
Hey, out of nowhere. It's like when he turns up for a race, just out of nowhere.
Ah, a bit like Bradley Thornton.
I'll let you continue for a minute.
No problem. Yeah, so Demon R putting a bit of pressure on SRI here. SGP gets sideways. Demon R's got a bit of a run on SRI. I think that may have held up SRI a little bit when SGP got sideways. On the pack cam, he's getting busy, still around Nelly. I think he's just lost a couple of places. So SRI up the hill here. And as we were mentioning about the wet line, the racing line, SGP's going for the move up into turn 1. No, he's not. SRI having a look up the inside. Off the racing line is considerably grippier than on the racing line. However, somewhere like turn 2, yes, you can brake on that inside line, but taking the tight line down the corner is very tricky. However, down into turn 3 here, you're going to have a lot more stability, but you kind of want to take a wider line around the corner, so SGP here could have better grip, a better run out of the corner. These double left-handers, this first one, ideally you want to go around the outside off the racing line, as Demon R's doing here, around the outside of SRI and around the outside of SGP. Now he'll be on the outside of this corner, which is exactly where he'll want to be. SGP on the racing line, a little bit slippier, the grip's there for Demon R, gets 2 moves done. Steve F1 has opened up a little bit of a gap, but can Demon R bring that down a little bit? While that's going on, it's still ever so busy around Nelly, Arpal, Jason, Rich Blues. Is he in there? Yes, he is. Hay in there as well. And I can say it is not looking like the weather is getting any clearer at the moment. It definitely isn't for Gary. Twilight going for an early pit stop. I would guess that was either a crash and he didn't mean to go in there, or he's going for the inters. Now, in the previous championship, we've got Nelly and Hay side by side. Arpal's got a run here. Yeah, the previous championship, the pit lane was closed until lap 4. In this championship, there is no pit lane closure. The drivers just have to start on the wet tyre. Hay looking at going defensive. Jason's on the inside line. So manages to hold on for the moment. There's Nelly trying to put some pressure on Hay.
Rich and Alpal, side by side at the back.
Oh yes, that they are. Now, interestingly, Nelly braking off the racing line. And Hay, so there it might look like Nelly's gone a bit deep, but he should have a decent exit out of the corner, unless he got it wrong, which I think he has.
Yeah. Oh no, actually I think he went a bit deep and just couldn't get the power down. And that crossover stage of the racing lane and non.
The non-racing
But
yeah.
is that Hay just dropping back a bit?
No, Hay, well, Hay's in 6. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's Nelly. It was
Yeah.
Nelly coming back.
Hay, I think Hay may have just served a penalty. Yeah, he was off the racing line. Oh, big wobble for Arpal there. As SGP had, oh, we've got quite a few cars pitted. Arpal overtaking Nelly on the way in to the pit lane. I mean, one thing I will say is it doesn't look like it's got any drier at the moment, Ray. So could it be a bit of a risk, drivers going for the wet tyres right now?
Going for the wet, they're already on the wet.
I meant the engine.
It could be, but it's getting near that stage, so if it's not raining and it's drying off and it's just the window wipers are on for the spray, then it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. Oh, Jason's just gone straight on at turn 2. Rich and Hay had made the move on him on the pan cam. I mean, the track is looking quite wet here still as Demon Art closing in on the back of Steve F1. I mean, if we look at the weather, the moisture gauge, Stephen R breaking off the racing line. Is he going to take a wide line around here? Yes, he is. That definitely is a driver trying to use stay off the racing line. See if he does it here as well. Is he staying well away from the apex? Yes, he is. You're about to say not really.
Not really. I think he's still a wee bit on the racing line, a wee bit there.
I'd say there's a bit of a car width there is on the racing line. But this is one of those chicanes where at some point you're going to be on the racing line. Now the moisture gauge, looking at it, the moisture gauge is coming down a little bit as Hay goes to the right hand side towards the final 2 corners. Is he just going defensive or is he pitting? He's not pitting. Jason is pitting. Rich on the back, that makes a move. Demon R all over the back of Steve F1, actually having a look up the inside into turn 1. Can he get the move done? He may get it done on the way in. Can he get it done on the way out?
Bouncing over that curb on the inside there. But it's going to be tight down to turn 2.
That it is. Demon R's going to be in the stable braking point, but the tighter line around turn 2 is very, very treacherous in these kind of conditions. So Steve F1 can hold it round the outside. I would imagine him getting the better exit. Okay, Demon R's got the move done. Maybe Steve F1 will be able to attack back down into turn 3. It's Rich Blues and Hay side by side, and Rich Blues just got proper wobbly. Steve F1 trying to come back at Demon R, but I don't think he'll have the brake in while on the
It's there or near enough, but not close enough. Oh, Hay and Rich into turn 3.
SRI also all over the back of SGP now as they all take that wider line through the left hand. For those drivers that have already pitted and are on the intermediate tyres, SRI takes the very, very wide line there. Looking at the pack cam, it actually does look like not the racing line, but there's like 3 or 4 car widths where it looks like it's dried up a little bit. So maybe for those that have gone for the inters, it's a case of they've been able to see on their weather radars what the incoming weather is, and it's a good opportunity for the Inters and get a bit of that boost to gain an advantage.
Yeah, it's SGP got a better exit out of the last corner, so let's see, he's going to have a look into turn one. No, I don't think he's close enough.
No, either not close enough or not confident enough to attack there, or maybe would rather do it heading up to turn 2. Demon Art's breaking away now. SRI still there, and on the pack cam, very, very busy on Twilight with Gary. Gary trying to move over. Sorry, right, come on, SGP. Oh! Sneak!
SRI tried to stick his nose in there. Oh, it's a parking lot.
That it is. Oh, and here comes Nelly. So Twilight is currently on the intermediate tyres. He was the first to pit. He also has got a half-second penalty. I believe Nelly pitted at the same time as Artpal, because Artpal overtook him on the way in. So this could get interesting now. So we've got a mixture of cars on Inters and a cars on wets. I don't know what 8 cars is, but there we go. Now with the Inters, I think if they're, you know what, look at that moisture gauge for SRI at the moment. It's wet on the curb, but it's drying up quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, the racing line's getting there. Oh,
I mean, it's nowhere.
Nearly having a wee bit of contact.
Yeah, I mean, it's nowhere near dry. Definitely not, but it's definitely drying. As we've got Artpal, Rich Blues side by side. So Artpal on Inters, Rich on wets, and Artpal makes the move. I think on the Inters, if you stayed on that sort of racing line that's 3-4 car widths wide, you'll be fine. I think if you get up to the very, very wet bits, you'll be okay, but it could be a little bit slippery. As SGP having another look at Steve F1, and on this occasion going for it into one, but actually Steve F1's got the exit off the corner.
SRI seems to be catching up as well.
Nelly on the
pack. Splitting into turn 2, 3 of them. We've seen SRI able to shove his nose in there and have a wee look as he does it again, but he's not going to have the run out the corner.
No, he doesn't. On the pack cam, he's very busy once again. Nelly and Rich Blues. Rich Blues got mega sideways. Oh, he's a little off track at the moment. May have been helped a little bit by Nelly. But yeah, so very, very busy around that 6th place at the moment. SGP is not able to make that move on Steve F1, and Demon R is breaking away at the moment. Now, it was around about this point on the last lap that the moisture gauge was showing a very dry track on Steve F1. I thought he got a little wide, but that's fine. On the wet tyres, you want to be where it is really wet now. But yeah, so looking at the moisture content, it's not, well, it's wet off the line, but it's yeah, definitely dry. Although it doesn't look, it still looks like horribly foggy and misty.
I'd say that was... Oh, Demon Oz went into the pits.
Yeah. Okay, I could only guess that that's going to be for the intermediate tyre. Steve F1, SGP and SRI continue on. Interestingly, look at the wear now on the wet tyre. That is definitely an indicator that the wets are perhaps not the right tyre to be on at this time. As SGP makes the move into one as SRI's brakes are glowing.
Coming down to turn 2, three wide.
Ooh, very close.
SRI will need to watch out because he doesn't know what Steve F1's braking's like, because he was been behind SGP for a while. He's trying a switchback.
Yeah, trying it. What we're seeing as well is these drivers on the wet tyres now searching for moisture to keep those tyres in a decent condition. SGP is still trying to get this move sort of completed, hunting for the wet. I don't think he's going to hold on here. No, he's not. Okay, so SRI still close, but nowhere to go. It's interesting you mentioned as well about what Steve F1's braking might be like there. I think for a lot of the drivers racing in these conditions, SGP's gone deep! Oh dear!
Oh, he's just kissed the grass there and it's slowed him down.
That it has, and interestingly, Artpal on those intermediate tyres excuse me, bearing in mind he has made a pit stop, is now closing in on these guys. I think these guys have got to potentially pit for the intermediate tyres because ArtPal's showing that they're absolutely the right tyre and they're not pitting.
Oh, they're going again.
I mean, that's 2 laps. I mean, Demon R's going to be getting boost right now as SGP, Steve F1 and SRI are hunting for slipstream and moisture. Twilight on the intermediate tyres is back in the pits. What was I going to say? Yeah, so Demon R is going to be getting 2 laps of boost here over these front runners. Oh, you know what? They might... okay. Interesting scenario. We've got ArtPal catching them here. But look, his tyres are also burning up a little bit. I'm wondering if these front 3 are thinking, well, Demon R's gone on the intermediate tyre. Let's keep going and go straight to the slicks.
Yeah, it could be as SRI challenging Steve F1 and ArtPal there. SGP's dropped back a wee bit.
He has, yeah. So ArtPal on those inters, yes, they're burning up a bit, but they're still faster than the wet tyres. As he hasn't got anywhere to go.
Nowhere to go.
All the pace and no place. Now, interestingly, Jason, who's pitted, is also now catching up. This is fascinating. ArtPal may be able to tuck up the inside. Oh, it's a risky one. It's a risky... He might have the grip, though. Oh, no, he's had to back out. He's done the right thing. Oh, no, he's not back out. He said, screw that. I'm going for it. Oh, you look at Steve F1's tyre wear now, though. Steve has got to pit. Having said that, ArtPal's tyre wear isn't great. I think he might need to pit too, but I don't think pitting for Inters is the right choice now. Okay, pit lane is busy. Busy. Yeah. As Jason overtakes Steve F1 in the pit lane. Flinch Blues goes wide.
Oh, Jason enters.
Well, yeah, Jason was on the Inters already because he'd already pitted. Demon R's just passed Rich Blues.
Tyres?
Oh,
Rich tyre?
Yeah, well, Rich is about to find out that the wet tyres in full red condition is horrible. That's not going to slow down or turn. It might not spin on him until he ends up on the grass. Okay, looks like Jason is still ahead of Steve F1. SGP, Jason, Steve F1 have gone hard, so SRI's on the Inters. And he's got to jump on SGP. Oh, yeah, and you know,
Steve F1.
Yeah, I think that might be because, and here comes Twilight, I think that might be because on the intermediate tyres, SRI car would have been quicker out the pit lane. On the slicks, the pit lane is wet, so yeah, a potentially great move from SRI there, but, Ray, we've just seen those guys like ArtPal going quick on the Inters, but he's going to be pitted soon as SGP having a look up the inside, but he can't move over more because it's wet there.
Yeah, he'll need to try and stay on the racing line as much as he can because he comes off the racing line, it's going to be sideways. Steve F1 might feel it.
Whoa! Twilight!
Twilight!
Oh dear. I don't know if he was assisted, but he's definitely been blistered. I have no idea. Demon R's on the racing R's.
He's went to hard?
He's got hard on.
You went to the hards, what, 4 laps ago?
On lap 8. On lap 8. And you know what? Well, it's hard to tell if his lap times. Well, his lap times. His lap times. Oh, we got hay spinning.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, I think Demon R's last lap was a 140, which without boost is a good lap time. And Demon R has got the whole of the second straight. Jason's, I think Jason's pitted for Inters. Yeah, I think he has. I think Jason. No, can't. Someone else. I saw what I thought was Jason's name for the intermediate tyre simulation. Okay, I don't really know what's going on at the minute.
SGP isn't really on the back of SRI after a lap, so maybe it's still in the crossover phase.
Well, maybe. You know what I mean, as a spectator right now looking at this, it looks very wet still. What I can say, it definitely isn't raining. It's definitely foggy, and off the racing line on the slick tyres. It's slippery as hell, and that is why Hayes just got deep. So I think the reason SGP isn't right up SRI's bumper is because on those opening couple of laps, these guys have been sort of side by side, whereas at the moment there's a thin line around the track that's a little bit dry, and if you go off it, it's treacherous. So I potentially expect to see SGP close up to SRI now, with them not having to go side by side with anybody. But I think for these guys, I mean, yeah. Now, for anyone that's interested, rewind that 20 seconds and have a look at the moisture gauge. Because SGP had 2 wheels on the curb and it was very, very wet there. And that's what can happen. He did well to save it.
Yeah, he was catching SRI until that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Now he's just trying to catch his underwear. Okay, so
I've picked the seat at his arse.
Pepper Army, it's a bit of an animal. That'd be an interesting. Actually, no, SGP really should. Oh, Twilight's just been nudged by Hay. Can't stop. Hay should be waiting for him on that one. Yes, he is. Okay. I mean, I was about to say though, Ray. Like in these conditions, some of the drivers they may have no idea where to brake for the corners.
Yeah, you just need to go easy for the first few laps and then just edge it closer and closer to the corner. Just till you feel comfortable. You don't want to do it at actual dry temps where there's still a wee bit of moisture there, or else you may shoot and past.
Exactly. And also, if you're in a situation like Twilight is now, yeah, you might want to make a move, but if that means going on to the damp part, if you're on the slick tyres, it's going to struggle. Jason's gone to the inside, he's going to struggle for grip. Oh, Pal goes for a little sneaky look. Oh, it's slick. Oh, can he save it? Can't save it. He can save it. Nicely done. Give him a penalty, though, for cutting the corner. Wrong, the fit has done that. Oh, you know what? I think Jason's on the inters. Yeah, Jason must be on the inters. Because he's just been and searched for a damp part of the track. Yeah, again with our pal there though, obviously we saw him, he was comfortable around the corner, but as soon as he dipped a wheel on the moist bit, wide he goes. SGP having a look up the inside. I think he knows he can't put that car on the damp part of the track. And that's something the drivers are going to have to be very, very aware of. Because what happens if you try braking on the damp patch?
You lock up.
That you
keep
do.
going.
Yeah. Walk up by. But yeah. Now, interestingly, I mean, I'd be interested to. Oh, there's been a big crash on the pack cam. We got Gary's gone straight on, and someone else with him. I just heard a. I hope Ray's still with us.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, SGP, you're trying to get SRI off that dry part of the track, which is exactly what it needs to do. But SRI may now be able to stop SGP. No, SGP's got the dry part again, but SRI's car will want to be on that damp bit. I would like to see how his tyres are getting on. SGP is going to do an arc pal. No. Oh, you do want to be on the inside though. Actually, it's not bad though. It's all right. Oh.
Can SRI nudge him towards the dam? He's trying.
He's trying.
Yes, he is. He's moved him over about half a car width.
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right there. It's like you're not having the driest part of this dry line, although he has got the move done as SG. Oh no, he hasn't. Okay.
Now it's SRI's time to play tricks. He's holding SGP.
Let's watch SGP's moisture content. It's creeping up. Look, they're both fighting for that slightly dry bit of line. On the pack cam, very busy. Still SRI should have the run, but it's Steve F1 going to get him. Oh, I'm making a move on Jason and SGP making the move on Nelly in the pack cam.
Yeah, still side by side. Oh, SRI's got ahead coming out of the...
I was going to say something then about SRI having a head, but I won't. Oh, SGP ran a little bit of a switch, but again, it's damn. I mean, this is a fascinating situation right now. In that, I mean, you can argue what's the right tyre to be on at the minute.
Yeah.
Either.
Depends how you hold your lines and your tactic.
SGP, he's not going to be able to hold that, is he? No, he's got a bit wide, and here comes Steve F1, but is he going to be able to hold it round the outside? SGP's going to be on the very damn bit now. SRI hunting for the moisture. Oh, what happened there? Oh, is SRI just served a penalty?
Oh, yeah, it must, yeah, it looks like it.
Ah, okay, so, very busy on the pack cam once again behind Artpal. So, yeah, SRI, unlucky there, serving the penalty. But I'd love to see what SRI, it's in the pits. I was going to say I'd love to see what his tyres are like. We saw Demon R for a moment there. Demon R's kind of checked out on this one. Obviously, I was under the impression that when he pitted, it was for the intermediate tyres. It's, hey, he's pitted for the tyre barrier. Oh, wow, that's a big hit. Oh, dear.
Let's stay to that front bumper.
Ooh, yeah. But also now his tyres will be ever so cold and wet. I mean, that's the other thing for these guys. Oh, is that
Nelly's
straight on
the wrong way.
Wow! Well, one of the things. Oh, Gary. Oh, he nearly had moved on. He had got moved on. I was going to say, I said, like, if you end up having a bit of an off like Hayes there's a good chance you may not make the next corner. You're going to have to be very prepared for it to go very wrong very quickly. And it definitely went very wrong very quickly for Nelly there. Gary's got a little bit wide. Blue's trying to tuck it in. Twilight, give him a little bit of a nudge. Go on.
With some of these guys not doing the practice and that, they won't know that when you're braking on a wet line and when you're slick tyres, that the car is going to just keep going. Oh, Twilight gave Rich a wee nudge there.
You need to call
I
him
think he's... they won't know that the tyres are going to lock up and keep going.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's one thing for the drivers. They say I haven't done any practice. This is all new experiences for them. And I thought I saw someone wide as Gary. Oh, he's kind of in between pit entry and racetrack. He's going into the pits. I mean, it might not be a bad idea where he is. Who's that making the move? Yes, he is. Who's that? Is that Twilight trying to make the move on Twilight, Blues? Yeah. Oh, it gives him a little... You know what I think's happened in those couple of corners where Twilight and Rich have had a little bit of a touch? I think Twilight's just dipping two wheels on the damp bit and it's giving him a twitch or sending him into Rich Blues' Artpal. It's closed right up to the back of Steve F1. He is. Artpal's having a blinder of a race, considering that he had a mega spin. Maybe that's the way to do it, Ray. Have a mega spin, overheat the tyres, and then you got temperature.
Yeah. Yep. It's where we at, turn 3.
Yep.
It's
Twilight Rich back then on the pack cam. Twilight finally gets past. Let's hope he doesn't go straight on. Now the corner
I take it there's no work together between Twilight and Rich.
No, Twilight very, yeah, he has his round wide. I was about to say, I hope he doesn't do that. But I was going to say, the left-hander that Twilight's just gone deep in, I think that, personally, I do think that is the most treacherous corner on this track in these kind of conditions. It's a tricky corner in the dry, but in these conditions, you get your braking slightly wrong, you will be going straight on. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more cars going up there as Rich Blues goes straight on. Managed to save the spin, I think. Yes, he did. If he should run a little wide, he's got a penalty. Interesting though, the cars that we've seen spinning, it has been when it's two wheels on the curb, which is still very, very wet, we see here, and two wheels on the track. So, a lesson for the drivers to learn there. For Artpal, I don't know if he's going to be able to make a move here, because I don't know if the track's dry enough. He's going to try though.
Oh, let's keep an eye on his weather, his tyre.
Moisture content, yeah.
Moisture, yeah.
But, I mean, here's an
His
interesting...
own left hands.
Oh dear. I mean, an interesting question for you though, as a commentator. In a situation like they just had there and they're having here, does each driver have to give the other driver the dry part of the track?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
The rules are as long as there's a car width between each car
Steve
and
F1!
the track. Oh, he's went deep.
Yeah, in the corner where Twilight did a lap ago, and I mentioned that's the treacherous one as Nelly runs a little bit wide. Oh, Twilight's had a moment there as well. It's Rich Blues is back past Twilight. Oh dear. Yeah, so Twilight's got to do it all over again. But it's like I said, that corner, it's tough in the dry. So, excuse me, in these conditions, and even here, I mean, this isn't really a tough corner in the dry, but you get a bit offline, anything could happen through these two corners. I think Nelly's deep. Oh, Rich!
Don't spin it. Oh, good.
And I tell you what, that is a good example as well of why. Demon R's
Who's
tyres.
that?
That's, I don't know, but he's got decent tyres still. He's done 12
We're
laps.
gonna last another 8 laps.
Well, he's done 12 on them. It depends. You know what? That could. SGP's got much better tyres. However, is a long bloody way off Demon R at the moment. Art Powell third place. His tyres better than SGP's. Steve F1's better than SGP's, but not as good as Art Powell's. Okay, let's see. Nelly, Rich, looking good. SRI's got fresh tyres, but let's not forget his slicks are newer. Okay, Jason on the hard. I would expect to see everybody on the slick tyre now. But having said that, Ray, I mean, if you're on the inters, you may be able to get overtakes done by using the damp patches. But, as we see on the pack cam, SRI on the back of... Oh, Pow! He's done what Steve F1 did on the last lap.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's spun it coming back.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, it is SRI making a move on Rich. Tried to anyway. Arpow's in a right tricky situation now. Those tyres will be hot and you're cold. Yes, you're no. You know that song. That tells a lot about you there, Raymond. Okay, but yeah, so I was going to say on the inters, you'd be able to use the damp part of the track to make overtakes as Rich is into the pits.
Yep.
But I do think the inters would be burning up too quick now. So you were asked about Demon R's slick tyres. I mean, yeah, he's already done 12 laps on them. This will be the 13th lap, so it's what, 7, 8 to go. If the conditions stay as they are, maybe. But if the track dries up, those slick tyres are going to start heating up and taking a bit more punishment and starting to wear a little more. Which, if that happens, that then brings in SGP, Steve F1, but also SRI on his nearly brand new slick tyres. So, oh, here comes up. You know what? Is Arpal in the right car? Because he's flying today. He's spinning, but he's flying.
I don't know. Let me check that.
Yeah. Someone check.
Make sure he's not getting mod.
Up the inside he goes on at Twilight. I think he gets that move done. Jason's on the wet tyre.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
Why would you go on the...
I think because when we were racing, there was a splash of... Whoa.
Oh, you sound like Wally as well. That's how we said it. Okay, you tell what things I listen to and watch. Steve F1! Oh! Pits! Oh, whoa! Okay, so we got Twilight, someone in the pits. Pal, Twilight in the pits. I think Rich Blues was as well. Steve F1 probably wasn't once in the pit. I think.
Gary? Where did you go,
Is
Gary?
it raining? It's raining! That's why Jason went onto the wet.
I can hear it a little.
you can. I can't. I'm deaf. Hey, what? Oh, okay. Right. This. Oh,
Oh, SCP!
SCP! Oh, okay, okay. Now we're in a very part of Twilight. I've got inters. Jason, has he called a blinder here? Oh, okay. SRI, if we're gonna need the wet tires, SRI may not be too happy, but at least the 3 cars ahead of him will also need to pit. Okay. This is the new scenario. Oh, SRI's making the move on Nelly. Gets it done, but it looks like the rain. Those wipers have stopped.
Yeah, it might not be still raining. It might have been a drizzle.
It
A
might.
shower.
It's very difficult. Oh no, those wipers are on again. Okay. It's very difficult to tell if it's raining or not.
Yeah.
I mean, his wipers are going. It's more difficult for me as well because I think my monitor needs cleaning, and so it's hard to see rain from.
SRI's wipers weren't going, but Nelly's was, so I don't know what's going on there.
Well,
See, Nelly's is going, SRI's are.
yeah. Well, interesting. SRI trying to go side by side. Maybe SRI has got the auto windscreens turned off. He may also have the. Oh, I thought he was going straight on there, but he isn't. On the pack cam, Jason's still hunting for moisture. Hay is in the pits, probably for a set of inters. You know what, Ray? We don't get to see the weather radar at this moment in time, and I'm wondering if on that radar it looked like there was weather coming in as Nelly has a big twitch. It's going to be damp out there. He's going to have to be careful. It's spinny here. Yeah, so I'm wondering whether on the weather radar, Jason saw weather coming in and gambled early for the wet tyre, and the rain just hasn't quite. It's rained enough that where he is going, there's enough moisture for the wet tyre. But as he goes to the racing line, look, it's still pretty dry.
Minimum, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So I think if you're on the slick tyre at the moment, like Demon R, SGP, SRI and Nelly are, if you can keep it on that thin strip of dry tarmac, you may be okay. But if we get more rain, that could change very, very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. You see, is that Steve F1 catching up on Jason as well?
Oh, Jason was straight on. Oh no. In that dreaded left-hand corner. I should probably find out if that corner's got a name. And if it hasn't, we should probably give it one.
Dreaded. Dreaded.
Art Power going straight on a little bit. See, now on the intermediate tyres, okay, the inters have warmed up and worn a little bit. But
there's rain. It's raining and they've finished straight.
Yeah, okay, that heavier rain, that will help Jason. Someone is in the pits. Steve F1 is
stopped.
Say again?
Stopped. He's stopped.
That's it.
Without a turn one. Yeah. Oh, right now.
What the fuck? Okay, so
it's like God's aiming his pits in a specific part of the track.
You know what? Steve F1 has just pitted as Gary goes a little bit deep here. I don't know what tyres Gary's on. You know what? Gary's going to be on the dries, and I'll explain why in a moment. I mean, for Arpal, going to the inters has worked for him because he's back up to 5th place, and he's actually not that far away from the guys who were on the slick. So. And the rain is falling once again. Okay, I have no idea what's going on here, other than it's wet a bit.
Maybe localised showers. How long's the track over?
About a mile and a half, 2 miles, something, maybe, I think. You know what, actually, think about it. I mean, here in the Redbull Ring, in the mountains, the weather can be a bit questionable, can't it? Because the mountains create clouds that creates water. Twilight closing in on Gary. Gary is on the racing hards, and the reason why I thought that might be the case is unfortunately for Gary, he didn't have enough money to buy intermediate tyres because. Oh, Gary, you
I
do
don't know.
not want to
You don't
follow.
want.
You do
No.
not want to follow Art Pal there. Oh, he's going to struggle to slow it down here.
Is Twilight on intermediates then?
I think he
He's
is.
going for the wet track.
The wet bit, yeah. Okay, Gary, in this situation, please, please, please do not attempt to go off that racing line, because if you do, you're going to go straight on like a wrecking ball. Okay, SG...
It's raining, it's raining.
Oh, it is an SRI! Go straight on! Oh, it's very wet in the gravel. Yeah, Twilight on the pack cam, he's hunting for moisture. Yeah, so Gary here, he's got to keep it on the island. He cannot afford to dip a wheel anywhere that's wet. But yeah, so unfortunately for Gary, no inters. But I actually think the slick tyre is still okay at the moment. Demon R, SGP and SRI still on it because the rain has stopped again. Oh, Gary!
Oh, God.
That's
Dreaded corner.
Yeah, dreaded.
Oh, I thought he was going to do the same at the dreaded corner, but no.
Well,
He's on
he
impulse.
is on inters, and his inters seem to be burning up a little bit. Steve F1 is a couple of positions behind him, so I'm wondering if Steve F1, because I saw him pit a little while ago, and I'm wondering if whether he came into the last couple of corners, because there was that big downpour. I'm thinking he went right pits, inters or wets, whatever it was. And then we've not had. Oh, I thought that was Gary following on the wet line. It's not, it's Twilight. Yeah, so I'm wondering if Steve F1 has pitted for a wetter set of tyres, and the full rain has not come. But then, having said, I mean, in these conditions, it's hard to say.
Depends how it's going to rain. Is it going to keep coming off and on? The track just gets that little bit wetter.
Gary, not there. You're. Yeah, couldn't stop. Yeah. You could do with lane Twilight back past. Preferably stay on the driver, Gary, and lane past, because Twilight wants the wet bit. Yeah, I mean, for Gary though, that there should have sort of signalled, okay, I definitely can't brake on the wet bit. I mean, Twilight nearly caught him up in the braking zone there while being on the intermediate tyre.
It looks like that turn 3, it seems, where it's raining the most. You can see more of the wet outside of the track than we did a few laps ago. Twilight going round yeah, he's staying there. Twilight is.
Gary, he has just got the dry line there.
He's got the Twilight. Yeah.
See, it's kind of. I think it's like parts of the track are right for the Art Pal's inters are burnt up. Look, I think it's. Yeah, you've got to get rid of them now, I think. But if you're going to be off the racing line, you need the inters.
It's a tough one to call, isn't it? When you're fighting with people, because I thought I could hear rain, but it's just a thing me off the spray off the tyres. Yeah,
I mean, so here now it's like, oh, Hay's got slightly fresher tyres than Art Pal, and Art Pal's got to search for that moisture. I think it's at that amount of where he may not get another lap out of this, but if he pits now, the next lap's the last lap. I don't think he'll want to pit.
I want to try and stick to moisture. He's doing okay. What, 6th position? He's still within a battle here. Yeah. Twilight's and intermediates behind him. Yeah. We don't know what's Hayes on.
Hayes on inters, I'm sure I saw him on inters. Yeah, so if Art Pal loses a position to Hay and Twilight here, it's not as bad as if he pits. He'll end up at the back, but yeah, Hayes got considerably more grip. For Gary though, at this point, yeah, Art Pal's definitely hunting for the moisture, isn't it? But that dry line is getting considerably wider. Not that it's easy to tell on this spectator.
Is his tyres going to last another lap? Look at how much they are worn.
Yeah, well, they've gone down about 50% in this lap. I mean, it's tricky. Art Pal, yeah, searching for the moisture once again on the inside. He's gone deep. Oh, he manages to hold on. Artpal retakes that plate.
Somebody's skidding. Somebody's skidding. Is it Gary?
It's
Somebody
Gary.
ahead.
Oh, bash into the barrier. Yeah, Gary. He's got himself onto the damp bit. It is Demon R, and he's on the hard tyre still. Look how much tyre he has. Oh, he's not.
Oh,
But
Connor's got the demon arm.
okay, so yeah, hey, on the intermediate tyres, he's only got a slither. We've now got guys on inters that are practically slicks. Okay, this is bonkers. Oh my days. Okay, Artpal's on the wetter part. That's where you want to be. Can he get that stopped? Yes, he can. Twilight going around the outside, trying to keep that wetter
He's
bit.
not searching for the wet bit. He's not searching for wet to help his tyres.
He isn't. Okay, Demon R's come around the final corner. He's made those tyres last 20 laps and across the line for the win.
Look at it. Track map, turn 3, look at it.
Oh, look at the look at the pad cap. 3 have gone off. Yeah, those 2 there. Is that Gary and Artpal? Oh dear. SGP is heading into the penultimate corner. His tyres have gone. Can he get around the corners? Okay, yeah, it's SGP then. And on the back cap, Twilight trying up the inside with Hay. Oh, a little nudgy. SGP's going to be second. SRI third. Twilight through for fifth at the moment. Nelly holds on for fourth. Oh my days. Twilight, he's just saved his tyres a little bit enough. Is that Steve F1? It is.
Yes.
Oh, Gary, no!
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Thank God he never collected them to there.
Well, he did. The marshal behind the barrier. Okay, Steve F1, can he get Twilight? I don't think he can. Steve F1 was on the inters. Oh, what a bonkers end to the race. Who we got here? Jason. He's been on every tyre multiple times. Gary still slipping and sliding across the line in 10th. Rich Blues in 11th. Rich at the end was on the racing hards, I think, at the end. Yeah, wow, what a race. I need to grab a drink. Not an alcoholic one, unfortunately, but so I'm being good still, kind of. But yeah, one of the things I want to mention about that race is some people might be wondering why it was difficult for us to know exactly what was going on. Well, one of the main reasons, and if you've ever watched Formula 1, you'll have heard this before. If the cameras sort of low down at the side of the track and the cars are all coming at you, you're looking through hundreds of meters of rain and spray, so it reduces the visibility. There have been times where for the main screen it would have been looking really, really wet, but on the pack cam, the view may have been a little bit clearer. So yeah, because literally throughout that whole race, it looked at least damp and foggy. And when those showers were hitting at the end, the only way I visibly could see, because of the state of my monitor, was from the windscreen wipers, because they do come on automatically, apart from SRIs.
It's just these showers kind of mess with some people thinking maybe it's going to be heavier and whatnot, and it's a shame we don't have a picture of what the weather radar showed at that time, because we could understand why people kind of went intermediates with the amount of blotches that were all over that map.
Yeah. Now,
at that time.
Absolutely. Now, one of the obviously we mentioned during the commentary there that we don't get to see the weather radar. Honestly, I would love to have been able to have had the weather radar on view for everybody. However, it's not possible to have it on view all of the time, because the only way to get it is, from somebody's live footage. So what we might try and do in future is try and get some snapshot previews like a Ted Kravitz does in the pit lane. Oh, here's a look at the weather radar. If we can do that in the future races, we'll see what we can do, because like you said, if we'd have been able to show the weather radar there, it could have perhaps explained why Jason went for the wet tyre. Because at that time, we're thinking, what the hell is he doing? But a lap later, it's like, oh, that's what he was doing. But unfortunately, it just didn't rain enough for him, did it? So that sort of gamble nearly paid off. And the way these tyres work is if you're on the wet tyre on a full dry, like I'm talking hot, sunny, dry track, they're probably going to last about a lap and a half, maybe 2 laps. That's on like a bone dry red hot track. On a dry track, in these kind of conditions, but a dry track, they'll last a few laps, but they'll wear down fairly quickly. And that's usually an indicator that you're going to have to get rid of them soon. But that was probably the most tricky situation for the drivers there. For those out front, it wasn't that difficult really. Once they were on the hard tyre, because they weren't battling, they were able to stay on that racing line for the most part, and they were okay. For everybody else that was in a fight at any point, if you needed to overtake it, you needed to use the damp bit, you needed the intermediate tyre. Yeah. So it's kind of, I mean, we sort of mentioned at the time, what's the right tyre, the hards or the inters? I don't think there was an answer to that, because there was a point where, like with Artpal and Gary, where Artpal hunted down Gary, but then Gary's tyres was the right tyre to be on, and he pulled away, and then it flipped. So yeah, so very, very difficult for the drivers. But yeah, I mean, anything else you want to sort of say about that one?
That was, even with the tricky conditions, there was some fantastic racing. It took a while for Demon R to get his break away, and then Bill had SGP, Steve F1 and SRI having close battles with Nelly in there, a couple of them, and then we just had the pack having all their race battles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was interesting. I mean, the opening few laps where like the whole track was absolutely sodden. In that kind of wetness, there's definitely a benefit to breaking off the racing line. But also, it's so wet that when you get into the corners, it's difficult for everybody. I think after a few laps, there was a definite. When we saw Demon R do that double overtake around the outside, that I think was a turning point of, okay, off the racing line is definitely 100% grippy around the corners, or at least around those corners. So yeah, fascinating way to start the championship. Let's put it that way. Okay. There's a couple of things I want to sort of touch on. I'm going to ask you the question: why, Ray, have we got a mandatory starting on the wet tyre rule?
Because we can't force that you must use the wet within the game, and the police that is going to be going through everybody's footage to check where if they use the wets. So we've just decided to say, right, it's going to be raining at the start, as everybody knows. You've got to be on the wets.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, because one of the things that obviously we use Boost in our league, and we have valid reasons for that. And it's kind of one of those situations. I mean, the conditions at the start of this race are 100% not intermediate conditions. However, with us using Boost, if you did start on the inters, if you did drop back a bit, once you're in the Boost part, you're going to gain massively, potentially, because as if the track does start to dry up, then you may not need to pit when others do. And yeah, so potential unfair advantage there. But also, like I said, yeah, is what we wanted to do was have the in-game mandatory tyre set as the wet, which would mean you could use it at any time in the race. So if you did want to start on those inters, you could. But at some point, you have to use the wets. So if the track dried up and you haven't used the wets yet, you've still got to use them, which means you'll be pitting, burning your tyres up, and having to pit again. And I know I personally kind of like the idea of that, but unfortunately, yeah, the game won't allow us to set that as a mandatory tyre, and rather than, as you said, us having to look through everybody's footage to see if they use the wet tyre at some point, it's just easier to start them off on the wet. And what happens, Ray, if we notice that somebody has not started on the wets? We kill them. Sorry, no.
Yeah, they have to go in and use the wet, change those wets.
Mm-hmm. Even if they only notice, or we only notice, when they have done their or making their first pit stop, even if the track is dry, you've got to put the wet tyre on. So yeah, right. Couple of other things I want to mention. Okay, that moment we saw for Gary at the end, in that penultimate corner, I don't know if that was an attempt at an overtake or taking evasive. I haven't looked at it, but what I do know is we had a car on slick tyres on the very, very wet part of the penultimate corner, and there was only one thing that was going to happen there, and that is going straight on. And not only straight on a little bit, straight on so far in nearly at the barrier, and it's a long way to that barrier. Which would suggest if it was an attempted overtake, that's a big no-no. If it's evasive, no problem. Fair enough, other than you perhaps put your car in a position you don't want to be in. I don't know what your view might be on that.
If it wasn't an overtake and he was taking evasive, because we know so I've done it as well. If I go for an overtake and I know I'm not going to complete it, or I'm going to end up hitting somebody. Sometimes it's just better to put the power back down and steer as
Straight
much
on.
away from the other cars as possible.
Yeah.
So if that's what he was doing, and fair play to him not hitting him, but if he was attempting an overtake, then not when you've got slicks and wet.
Well, it's not just that. If that corner in the dry, if you've got two cars side by side headed into that corner in front of you, the overtake's not on.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I've never seen that part.
That's fine. That's no problem, because what you said is 100% correct, but it's just also added. Yeah, so even in the drive, two cars side by side in front of you into that corner, the overtake isn't on. So in the wet, not only is the overtake not on, slicks onto the damp bit definitely isn't on. But again, if it was evasive, then fair play, well done. He didn't hit anyone. Touching on that as well, though, is some people may wonder why we've done the forced wet starts, and they will be in every race in this championship. A few reasons. One, something different. It is Dynamic GT League after all. But also, if we would like to feature random potential weather situations in future championships, we would like the drivers to have at least experienced wet conditions, full wet conditions. So this championship, we may see errors, and we may see mistakes, and we may see big crashes. And I'm not saying that that's fine, it's okay, but people are going to be learning what the situations are on the track. So, for example, I mean, people have got different levels of experience of racing and racing in the wet. Now, one example of that is, okay, let's take Demon R, Steve F1, SGP, SRI, Twilight, have all got championships. I think between them there's about 30 championships. Every single one of those drivers went off at dreaded.
Yep.
So if the best drivers in the league can go off in that corner, anybody can go off in that corner. Which means when we come to the next track, it's a similar situation. The next track being Spa.
Yeah.
If you're going to try going side by side on slicks, get someone on Inter's Oppo Rouge or into Puon, it's going to get a bit interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough one.
It
to do
is.
that.
It is. I mean, Red Bull Ring has thrown up a lot of surprises for me in this race. And Spa has the potential to throw up even more. It's known for having an odd weather system. It's such a long track that if you do a Jason and gamble on the weather, if you get it wrong, it's a hell of a long lap to get back to the pits. But yeah, so a bit of a test for the drivers. But practice makes perfect, and only one way to find out is to go and do it. And in that kind of vein of thought,
I was going to say we might want to talk about practice, but the video might not be out until after practice.
Actually, we'll touch on that in a moment because I do just want to mention that. I mean, talking about practice, practice makes is good for experience, but my gym have got a new machine. Now I've only used it for half an hour, and I started to feel sick. So I'm not quite sure it's working right. I mean, it's great though. It does everything. Kit Kats, Mars bars, Snickers, crisps, the lot. But yeah, I did feel a bit sick after using it.
So how many you bought?
All of them. Okay, yeah, practice this week. Hopefully, the video should hopefully be out on Wednesday. And we normally do practice on a Thursday. However, SGP is away this week, and I'm looking after his daughter. I don't know how I get the short end of the straw there. So he and I are not able to host the practice lobby. SRI we know is not available on Thursdays, and Steve F1 has been limited availability on Thursdays as well. So there isn't going to be a Thursday practice session this week. However, SGP has said that because he's missing practice, he will be doing a practice on Sunday evening. So if anybody wants to join us for that, you are more than welcome to. But if anybody wants the settings, send a message to the page. Is there anything else you wanted to mention about practice?
Have you doing your own practice? Get a bit of rain on, and then try and get it to randomize afterwards, or head into dry weather and just have a wee practice with the different tyres and the different wetness, dryness of the track.
Absolutely. I've just seen something that could be absolutely devastating, or not a problem. And this isn't a joke. I've just looked at Streamlabs. The record button is still pulsing to say it's recording, but the time has stopped on 23:31. So either we haven't got the last 40 minutes or everything's fine. Now, I think this has happened before and it wasn't a problem, but if it is, then I'm going to be very frustrated. And practice will have been before the video is out. But okay. Yeah, right. So on that bombshell.
Yeah, I think we better
Yeah.
put in check before there's no video.
Absolutely. Well, just before we do go. Obviously, you guys have been taking the mickey out of me recently, or for years, for being single and not having a woman. But I can tell you that this week I have dated twins.
Have you?
Yeah, oh yeah, dated twins, both of them.
What, a Kit Kat?
No, 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 not no,
The gym vent?
no, 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 twins. People, humans, twins. And the thing is, I told my mum about it, and she says, "How can you tell them apart?" Well, that's easy. Lucy's painted her nails purple, and Edgar's got a dick.
I've heard that before.
Well, I found it funny. Right, we need to find out if this was recorded or not, and I please hope it has, because otherwise we're going to have to redo it at some point. Well, I don't want to do that. If this has all worked fine, then we'll go and have a look at the confirmed race result and the championship standings, that of which will set the grid for the next race. Okay. Right. Thank you for joining us on commentary, Ray.
No, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We get to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go and see those results. Confirmation then of the race result. Demon R with the victory, the maximum 20 points. SGP second place with 17. SRI third with 15 points. Nelly in fourth on 13. Twilight fifth place, it takes 12 points, while Steve F1 in sixth is on 11. Hay in seventh place at 10 points for him. And then we've got Art Pal in 8th, excuse me, on 9 points. And then Jason in 9th on 8 points. Formula Gary in 10th with 7. And then Rich Blues in 11th on 6 points. Now, with it being the first race of the championship, the standings is the same as the race result, because there were no reports and no penalties to be given out. For the next race, the grid will be formed as is seen on the screen at the moment. Obviously, those who are missing will not be taking their places. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers get on at an unpredictable Spa Grand Prix circuit. So yeah, if you want to find out how that goes, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, smash that notifications bell, and join us next time. Have a good one, and we'll see you all again soon.